guys. It's freezing outside here in Virginia. Anyway, tonight's going to be a powerful broadcast with Mike around the world. You will not want to miss this. What's going on with all of these explosions and threats that are going on all across the nation? Can I put a shout out right now before I tell you about what else is going on? We've got more breaking news. Real fast, experts are starting to whisper that Citigroup analysis is predicting that gold will soar to over $3,000 an ounce. And not in the next decade, not in a few years, in 2025. While others debate smart money moves quickly, the signs are flashing bright like a Vegas billboard or like a Cybertruck explosion. Global uncertainty is growing. Dollar's strength is wavering. Gold's momentum is building. And if you feel it, I know you do. And it's telling you, don't wait around. If you've been thinking about getting some gold or silver, go to www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com. Click on that link below the video or call him at 877-646-5347 and tell him Pastor Paul Begley sent you there. Okay? You'll be glad that you did. And he's giving away some great prizes as well. All right. So in the Queens, New York last night, in Jamaica, Queens, we had another drive-by situation. We had 10 people shot. Now, everybody's on edge now. Everybody's on edge after the New Year's Eve horrific terrorist attack by this radical jihadi. And this guy, of course, even though he had been in the reserves, even though he had been in our military system, he was a plant. He was a sleeper cell. There's no question. He even had an ISIS flag in his truck. He went to New Orleans. He rented this truck that had come across the border from Mexico. He rented the truck. He drove to New Orleans. He had a rifle. He had a helmet. He had body armor. He had explosives. He had ammunition. He planned on killing, murdering, maiming, and creating carnage in the New Year's Eve celebrations down in New Orleans. The football game, Notre Dame and Georgia, has been rescheduled for today. It will happen at 4 p.m. this afternoon. So we'll be watching that. And of course, they are high alert of everything going on there. There's concern, a lot of concern, but security is at an all-time high. They're going to play the game at 4 o'clock. Let's pray that there's no terrorist activity and everything goes down fine. But we're nervous. The reason we're nervous is because we know that shooter and the guy who run people over this pickup truck and shot people and ended up being dead, and 15 died and 35 were injured. We know he had more accomplices, and I covered that in one of my Patreon videos I just did. I'll leave it there. But let's talk about the Vegas, what happened in Las Vegas. I just did a Patreon on it. I got inside information on that. I want you to go check it out. Find out more about what's really behind the Las Vegas Cybertruck explosion. They're in front of the Trump Tower in Las Vegas, Nevada. I just did a Patreon video on it. Those of you who are members of my Patreon channel, rush there right after I'm done here and go watch this. It's excellent, and it will help you understand the bigger picture. And meanwhile, while that's going on, let's talk about what happened in Queens, New York. This was not, I repeat, this was not a terrorist attack. Yeah, it's terrorism. Anytime people shoot people, I mean, massive shooting randomly for no reason on innocent people for no reason, we know that's a terrorist activity. But the people involved in this were not jihadis or terrorists. This is another gang-related or another drive-by shooting in a cultural turf war or disagreement between groups of people. We had 4 people pull up with out-of-state license plates, jump out of a car, and open fire on about 12 people. Actually, it was about 15 people were standing outside of a nightclub there in Jamaica, Queens, New York. 10 of those 15 people were hit with bullets. 6 of them were male, 4 of them were female. All 10, not 12, 10 were taken to area hospitals where they're all 10 going to survive miraculously. They were shot, but all 10 are going to survive. The 4 suspects who did this jumped back in the vehicle and took off and are still being pursued. To me, this is just another, and I'm not going to use the word just. To me, this is another, terrorist activity. Another drive-by, another situation where we need to pray, the violence that's in this city. Oh, Heidi, you bringing me something? That's needs warmed up bad. Just pour it. You can warm it up. It'll be fine. Thank you, my love. I went outside and I did a Patreon video. Yeah. And I come back in and I was frozen to death.
You're not in Florida.
I'm not in Florida anymore. This is not where I'm at right now, but I'll be going back. It's freezing, okay? And really, speaking of freezing, thank you, Heidi. There is a polar vortex coming, okay? But back to this this Jamaica Queens shooting. This was not tied to the Vegas or New Orleans shootings. This was just, again, another drive-by shooting in one of our major cities across America, especially when they're run by blue mayors. It's worse. Crime, shootings, murder happens in every city in America and around the world, for that matter. But the violence of cities like Chicago, Atlanta, New York, Los Angeles, and other cities, even smaller cities, like Milwaukee, Detroit, Seattle, places where there's a lot of violence. This is not part of what happened. I really do believe that we may have a connection here between what happened in New Orleans and what happened in Las Vegas. And I'm also on highest of high alerts that this is just the beginning of the sorrows. According to the Bible, Jesus said, in the last days, there'll be false Christ and false prophets will come, okay? And they will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, which we are. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there'll be some famines and pestilences. There'll be earthquakes even in different places. And all of these are the beginning of sorrows. I'm going to grab my list of 25 apocalyptic points. I think I have it right here in my folder that I brought with me. Yeah, here we go. And here we are. This is January 2nd. All right, January 2nd. Church will come alive in 2025, and I really mean that. But that's because also the church is going to come under great persecution. There will be great attack on churches, and ministries will increase. You already see it happening now. The slander against major ministries, and not just major ministries and major churches, but even small churches now and small ministries. There's this spirit of slander that's being released upon the land. Some people are obviously guilty of some things that they've been involved in, but in most cases here, we have an outright AI being used to slander the gospel of Jesus Christ and to turn people away from Christ. Anyway, but I'm looking at my 25 apocalyptic points. And yeah, the solar flares will increase, become violent. That's happening actually right now. We're seeing that happening big time. And then we're going to see the aliens. Okay, the aliens will be confirmed by a world governing body. Man, there's been Hollywood. There's disclosure going on in Washington, D.C. There's disclosure going on everywhere. And when I say disclosure, it's not disclosing that there are aliens. It's a disclosure agenda to convince people of the coming alien invasion. It's part of the strong delusion which is taking place, okay? Strange disease outbreaks will hit. That's already starting. We're hearing confirmation. Watch out. I'm telling you, gain of function. And then the revealing of Planet X or Planet number 9. These things are coming later in the year. The murder rate, here it is, number 19. This was on, Sunday night, if you watched my show, and if you got the email from Heidi of the 25 apocalyptic points, for 2025. Here it is, number 19. Murder rates will soar in the United States. Murder rates will soar. Not just terrorist attacks, not just coordinated attacks against this nation and this republic. Not just politically motivated assassinations, but murder itself. All of it will increase. Everything to do with taking lives will increase. The murder rates will soar in America. It's number 19. And I have to say that I think that is already in play, and we're only on January the 2nd. Guys, we got to still get the president inaugurated. And I've already got some inside information that there are major concerns about the situation coming in January. Couple things. The Carter funeral, Jimmy Carter's lying at the U.S. Capitol. The concerns about that. The concerns about the crowds gathering for the inauguration of President Trump. The concerns about the incoming, the hearings that's going to be going on. There's a lot in these next few days to pray about. In the next 18 days, keep fasting and praying. These things are happening very, very quickly. We're in the last days. We're in the last days. Thank God for all of these. It is the new year. God bless all of you. Thank God for all of you who responded and said, hey, I want to get my 2024 offering in to end the year. And thank you for every one of you who responded and did that. And may God bless you. This will help you and certainly help us get off to a start. We're praying and believing God for that. We've got so many people we got to get to salvation. I'm sad that we didn't get to 2,000 salvations. We came a little short, but we did have a great year, documented 1,992 salvations in 2024, 1992 salvations in 2024. Those are the ones we know that we've documented. Of course, we know there are many more that we had no way to document, of people who've been watching this broadcast, watching these YouTube videos, came to conferences I preached at, came to services I preached at, or were just involved in watching our television show, podcast, interviews I did, my book that went out. We don't know how many people prayed the prayer of salvation that I put in the book, Revelation 9:11. So we really don't know how many people really, and all, we're not even counting any of the people getting saved in India and Pakistan, which we know were hundreds from our missions work we're doing there. But through it all, we're happy to report 1,992 documented salvations here online, here on this channel we do. Here on YouTube and our online church, our amazing online church. It continues to grow. And oh, by the way, Heidi would just give me the statistics on all the states, how we have members. We have people who are members of this online church throughout the entire world. But in America, it was, for many years, California had the most members of the Paul Begley Prophecy Ministries online members. The number one state was California for all these years, for 13 straight years. But this year, 2024, Texas is now number one. I don't know if that's because some of the California followers moved to Texas. I don't know, but Texas is now number one, and California is number two. Florida is number three. New York, state of New York is number 4, and I believe North Carolina, is number 5. I have to go check that. But anyway, we have followers in every state across America and almost every nation around the world. God bless all of you. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. If you want to give to start this year, if you want to start, and there are people who have made the commitment. And I'm going to ask you to do that. Make the commitment to become a faithful tither for 2025. Matter of fact, on my list of 25 points, number 24 was God will bless the faithful tithers and givers in a kingdom blessing. And so if you want to be a part of that kingdom blessing that we believe God's going to pour on the followers here, please do that. Start this week. Start tithing and make that commitment for 2025 to be either every week or every month, whatever it is that you want to commit in your heart. Help us. We need to have our base strengthened. The attacks are coming from every direction. I can't even tell you how many different ways I'm being attacked. But I can tell you this much. I can't even tell you how many different ways I'm being blessed. Okay? So God is still in charge. Jesus is still sitting on the throne. And I'm still drinking coffee, even if it's in an IHOP cup. It's actually good coffee, and I like this cup, but I don't know where they got it here. I don't know. IHOP cup? I guess you can order them online if you like them. I'll see you guys. I'll be back. Don't miss tonight with Mike from around the world at 9 p.m. Eastern. This should be a classic. Well, we've got to hear from Mike tonight. Look at all the stuff that's happening. We got to find out what else is going on. And go watch my go watch all my Patreon videos, but go watch the one I just did this morning, okay? And I got some inside information that is not going, it will shock some of you, but some of you will say, I suspected this, and now we have some information. Go watch it, my Patreon channel. God bless all of you. And if you're not a member of the Patreon channel, you can easily become one. Just go and sign up and subscribe. Give what you want. The average people give $5 a month. Some give more, some give less. But whatever you do, make sure you subscribe and be a part of the Patreon channel. God bless all of you. Are you serious?